Hey, everybody. We're live. It's time for the show. Let's do it. Good show tonight. Good show tonight. Let's go. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Coming of Shadows, the Babylon 5 Retrospective. This week on the show, we're talking about Season 2, Episode 8, A Race Through Dark Places, involving everyone's fan favorite, of course, Walter, what's his name, the guy from Star Trek, playing Bester. The evil Psycop, Chekhov, yes, Chekhov from the original series. Yes, bad man, bad. But before we get into that, I have to introduce my co-host. He is the what are you, Cam? You're the Psycop to my Psycor.
I'm the P15 to your P5.
Ouch. Oh, yeah. That hurts. All right, it's Cam. Say hello, Cam. You already did. You talked out a turn.
Oh, carry on. Your hesitation prompted me. Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you can tell. I'm a little hoarse tonight. I've got a little bit of a cold going, a summer cold kind of thing, which is not great. But so excuse me if I cough a little bit.
Your voice sounds as lovely as usual.
Ah,
I didn't notice. So
I will try to be quick on the cough button.
All right, awesome. We appreciate that. Okay, do we have anything, any administrative stuff to go over?
Let's see. Nope. Stuck at 609 subscribers.
609 subscribers, yeah. Let's
plateaued.
Kind of plateaued, yeah. Here we go. Let's get that going here. Yeah, 609. Help us reach 700 if you can. Tell your friends. Bring them onto the show. Yeah, it's a good show. I think, we do a reasonably okay job talking about it. So, yeah. I guess the only administrative thing I have, Cam, is really, I think I finally got the Subscribe Star up and going properly. I've got like 3 tiers initially, a $1, $2, and $5 tiers. I don't know if, $5 seems like high, but, maybe when someone wants to support the show, we don't know. So if you're in there and you are, this is the first time I set up something like this. I don't know if it's done right. If you're on there and you're trying to do something, and it's not working, let me know. And that way I'll know if I screwed it up. It seems like it's fine, but, I don't know. Yeah. And there'll be more stuff coming. I'll talk a little bit more about it on our Sunday show and what I'm planning on putting there for people who want to go and join up. It's a way to support us if you want. No pressure. We're not going to treat anybody who doesn't like crap. You'll carry on as per the same, but there might be some perks and stuff, earlier access to videos, that kind of thing. Yeah. Did you want to add something there, Ken?
I was going to say, support you. It doesn't support me at all.
Support me. Yeah. No, support the show.
Oh,
the show isn't just me. It's everyone, right?
Like, whatever happens with that is beyond my control.
With yes. Well, we plan to spend it all on important things like hookers and coke. So that's the plan.
that's
Um,
entertainment.
Everyone can support that, of course, but that's the plan. Yeah, I know we're not going to throw it back in the show or anything like that. Something
But
crazy.
just
Hookers and Coke.
serious side note for a second. I just for future reference, I have this is not my channel. I am a guest on this channel, just in case anyone needs to know that.
Cam is already distancing himself, and nothing has happened. Wow.
This isn't directed at you. This isn't
I
directed at
didn't
you.
get arrested for anything.
This is to protect you. This is to protect you. To protect you.
There's no. Oh, right. To protect you from. Yes. Is that due to your various shenanigans going on the Twitter lately?
Yes, I'm just providing you an out, so you can say that.
I appreciate that, because I've been following on the peripheries, and yes, you've been getting into it with some people, I guess.
Sure, but that's not what this channel's about.
No, that's not what this channel is about. But
all right, let's bring in our co-hosts.
No, not co-host. Remember, I was getting in trouble for saying
panelist.
Co-panelist, Jeff. Welcome, Jeff. And just so everyone knows, Jason says that he will be jumping in. He has a meeting that he's on. He'll be jumping in soon. Probably, maybe after we finish our detailed thing, he'll be done and stuff. But we're gonna pull him in as soon as he's done whatever he's doing online and stuff. Yeah.
What? Go
ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
What am I gonna do with you two? Oh my God.
What do you mean?
I repainted the green room. It's now red.
The green room red.
Yeah.
Oh, you were so long in the green room waiting to come on.
Yeah, I had lots of time. I got lots of paint.
A whole 6 minutes.
Now it's been more than 6 minutes.
Sydney Sweetie, people are talking about her in the chat. She's burning up the last week. There was a big scandal. Nobody likes her jeans or something.
I love her jeans.
White supremacy, or
she's
something?
got great jeans.
Wasn't that the thing, Cam? I mean, I didn't follow closely. You're more of the Sydney Sweeney.
Well, I wish it would be great if I could take credit for starting the Sydney Sweeney craze, but in reality, it was Jason. Jason's the one that kept going on and on about her. So I said, hey, why don't you, exploit this for your show? Like other people have done, put her in your thumbnail, play the algorithm game. And hey, it would turn out,
Well, between you and Keeley, I don't know. I can't wait to see the championship wrestling match between Cam and Keeley over Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, well, I'm not going to participate in that.
I gotta say, I try not to follow this stuff too much because it's just.
I don't. It's insanity. It's like
Meanwhile, Lizzo has jeans.
It's hilarious. This couldn't have been a better outcome for an advertisement, right? I mean, what's advertisement for? Getting attention.
What'd they say? The only.
So she's wearing jeans, and they're saying she's got great jeans. And
the only bad publicity is no publicity, and,
and they're saying,
this is great publicity.
The jeans thing, is it some sort of white supremacy thing?
It's a play on words that a bunch of weirdos are losing their crap over. It's a meltdown that I don't even care about. It's good.
She has good jeans.
It's funny. It's just funny.
Meltdown.
All right, well, let's say hello to who's in the chat here. Outpost Nerds in the chat. Good to see you. Braz. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. And I will. I heard of John Scalise. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I haven't read the book because I checked it out and I read a synopsis of it. I'm pretty sure I haven't read it. But I heard his name. I don't know that somehow that name jumps to me. There's his name and the book's name. But anyway, I'll have to go check it out. Yeah. Who else is in the chat? Dave's in the chat.
Hi,
Dave
Dave.
sends greetings from the Narn delegation. Appreciate that. Thanks.
Always welcoming to the Narns.
We love the Narns. Who else?
Outpost Nerd is here. Yeah.
I think I mentioned him. That's it. Anybody else? It says we got 10 people in the chat.
We might have some quiet people.
Hanging out there. That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
Ninja Watchers.
Maybe they'll show up.
Appreciate that. American Eagle stocks. Went up 60% since they did that. Wow, that's the one she's also.
Well, was it like $5 a share, and now it's like 12 or 13? Is it? 12, it's actually still,
It's more than 6%. American Eagle is what the commercial is for the jeans, I think, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's the brand.
yeah. So,
They
yeah.
don't make anything in my size.
No, that's mainly Sydney Sweeney size, I think.
Well, yeah, they don't. Well, I'm not gonna say that because I'll get in trouble, and she's probably listening.
Uh-oh.
Sydney Sweeney's listening, you think? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
All right. Before you get in trouble,
Yes,
maybe we
Sweeney.
should move.
yeah,
Maybe we should move on to
wasn't there
trivia.
some trivia questions from last week or something?
Do we have trivia questions first? Oh, yes. Let me just check my thing. Yeah, we got to do trivia questions before we do anything else. Let's go on to the trivia. Let's find out the answers from. I'm just going to flash up the answers real quick. We're going to go through the thing. Yeah, answers from last week's trivia. Here we go. I'll just read the questions and the answers. What condition is Jakar suffering from in this episode? Headaches. He's always
headaches.
complaining about headaches every once in a while when he talks to people. What is the order of marriage of Londo and his wives? Timov, which is the one he picks. Dagar and Marielle. Marielle is the really young, good-looking one. Dagar is, of course,
that's the one that was working with
in this picture. You can't really see them, but Timov is on the left, Marielle in the center, and Dagar is on the right, just to the.
They kind of like remind me of the Wicked Stepsisters, you know,
Or the Three Stooges.
Yeah, Larry, Moe, and Curly, or Shemp. Which one's Shemp?
Londo.
Sorry, Londo.
What makes Stoner unique? Talia's ex-husband. What makes him unique? He is, quote, an empath. Unquote.
How many exes does she have?
I don't know.
She gets around.
Finding more out. How does Jakar insult Londo at his party? He wears shoes, of course. Yes, because they're not supposed to wear shoes.
Oh, no, that doesn't bother me a bit, my friend.
Yeah, he doesn't care. What did Lanier give Londo as an Ascension Day present? A deck of playing cards. And he, of course, he mentions that they are marked just the way you told me to mark them. He's like, quiet.
Don't tell nobody.
But yeah. All right. And that's the trivia from last week. And of course, we will get to trivia from this week as well at a later time at the end of the show. It should be good. Yeah.
Don't give away the jokes.
Don't give away the jokes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You'll okay.
In this episode you're talking about.
When you're doing the rundowns, don't give them away yet.
Well,
I wrote them down.
All right.
I want to pretend. I want to try my hand at being snob.
Yeah. Don't give away the jokes. Okay. All right. That's good. That's a good one. Okay, Cam. Shall we get started? Give us the short synopsis. Is he there?
Hello, Cam.
Sorry, I had my cough button on. Sorry. Okay, episode 8, season 2, episode 30 overall. Race Through Dark Places, written by J. Michael Straczynski. Original air date January 25th, 1995, and production date or production order 207. So off one, switched with last week. Psychop Alfred Bester returns to Babylon 5, searching for an underground railroad, helping telepaths to escape the core. His arrival sparks discord among the command staff as they realize that an insider is helping the railroad.
Dun dun dun.
All right, let's get a little more detail. So the episode starts off with Sheridan and Ivanova talking. They mention something about their profits are down at Babylon 5 because there's been a lot of Earth Force coming through, and that leads to the fact that they're supposed to pay more. The two of them, they want to charge Ivanova and Sheridan more for their quarters because their quarters are bigger than they're supposed to be. Apparently, they want to charge them a certain amount
30
of
credits
more
each
per week
for 7 square feet.
Sheridan says that's a load of crap, and he basically refuses. He turns it into a thing, and Ivanova kind of goes along. She's like, "Whatever you want to do, sir," but she doesn't seem like she cares that much.
Yeah.
Also, we have a scene with Bester back on Mars, and he's torturing some poor guy. Wants to know some information, and of course, the guy dies while he's being tortured, but he gives himself away, and apparently there's an underground railroad for telepaths, and it runs through Babylon 5. He finds that out, and that's just before the opening credits they find out. All right, so we basically have two main things going on. A very, sort of minor. There's more. There's kind of two very minor things, but this minor thing with Sheridan and his paying of the rent, and then of course we got the Bester, the main plot
Well,
line.
And there's the Dylan,
show.
the Dylan
Yeah,
line
there's
too.
the Dylan thing too. So I'm gonna, you know what? I guess I'll go through I'll just real quickly go through the two minor points. The whole Sheridan pay thing, it comes up every once in a while. We see they get locked out of him and Ivanova get locked out of their rooms. They have to spend the night in Sinclair's office. She's sleeping on the couch. Him and his desk. At his desk, she complains about him snoring. In the end, they
Hull breach, I think.
they resolve the problem by Sheridan taking money from the military operations budget every week and putting it into $60 every week or 60 credits to cover their the costs. So I don't know if that's
combat readiness
or whatever. Yeah, combat readiness. No, we don't need that. Yeah, and the other thing is Dylan meets Sheridan up and says she needs his help and she needs to understand humans better. And basically asks him out for dinner, and it's kind of sounds like a date. And when they show up to the date, she's all dressed to the nines, all sexy, and everybody's staring at her. And Sheridan gets a little bit defensive, and he's like, "Hey, what are you looking at?" And they all and they have a nice little talk, and they share things, and they have a discussion a little bit about laughter being very important for intelligent species. And I mean, it's kind of like a date, and you kind of get the impression that Sheridan at least is kind of got a little bit of a thing for her, or kind of likes her, and also Dylan seems to be
enjoying herself.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So no, he didn't have any kind of command override. There's a scene where he gets stuck and he's trying to get in and he can't get in. Yeah.
You'd think he would, but
he doesn't. All right, let's go to the main plot, of course. So then our next scene sort of is Bester. He's his ship is coming into Babylon 5, and he requests help from the field staff of Babylon 5 to find this underground railroad. He's in there. He gets in there. He's in there with a meeting with them, and they're all very much kind of standoffish. But he's kind of all like Mr. Congeniality. He's like, hey, we got off on the wrong foot last time, but yeah, I need your help, and this is a threat and all that stuff. And they're kind of Sheridan asked to speak with them, speak with his people alone. And of course, they say, "Hey, Garibaldi's like, hey, it's time. It's the law. We can't. These people are here illegally. They shouldn't be here." And Ivanova's kind of like, "Yeah, but they're a scumbag, and we're gonna help this guy." And Sheridan basically makes a decision. All right, we're gonna help them. We're gonna find out what's going on. We're gonna try to find these people. What's up? Then we move along. Next we see Bester talking to Talia. They're walking through some area of Babylon 5 and one of the the populated areas. They're selling shops and stuff. That usual scene there. And he hears a voice that says murder. He hears it, and I think was it murder or murderer?
Murderer. Yeah.
And Talia says, "No, I don't hear anything." He's like, "Open up and listen," which kind of implies that Bester's kind of always listening, but Talia, is not.
She tunes it out. Yeah.
She's following the privacy thing, but he doesn't. And anyway, she says, "I don't hear anything." Next, we go to the bowels of Babylon 5. Oh, Jason just jumped in.
Oh,
all right, I'm going to bring Jason in. Hello, Jason. We're just going through the detailed thing. We're talking about the telepaths. So then they cut to a scene with the telepaths. They're all in the in the lower levels of Babylon 5. And they're like, "Oh, we got to kill Bester. We got to get him before he gets us." And they're all putting all these guns together. I'm like, wow, they got quite a little arsenal there. Then we have a scene with Garibaldi coming in and talking to Ivanova and says, "Hey, I need to know about these Underground Railroad people." And she's like, "Hey, you're talking to the wrong person." He's like, "I sure it was you. Someone they got to have somebody helping everybody, someone on the staff helping them out." And she's like, "It's not me. I don't know who. I don't know nothing about it." Um, then we have got Bester. He is calls Talia, and he invites her to breakfast the next day, and she agrees to meet with him. And then they have a little bit of a flashback. We see, we see a little bit about Ironheart, some stuff from season 1, and the gift that Ironheart gave her, which will be important. Next thing is there's a shootout at breakfast. So the next day when they go to breakfast, Bester gets slightly warned right before, and he sees two guys, and there's a shootout. He flips over the table, he shoots them back. Talia hides behind the thing. Bester runs off or something, and they grab Talia and kidnap her and take her. And Bester doesn't seem to care. Next, we have a couple of scenes with Talia. She's with the Underground Railroad people. They're telling her stories and all the horrible things that Psychor has done to them. And she's initially like, "No, Psychor is my mother. They looked after me, their mother and father and stuff." But you can see that with all the stories. I mean, we know that Talia is a little bit questionable anyway about Psychor. She's been having doubts about them as well, but she outwardly she doesn't.
Doubting
She's not.
Thomas.
She's in front of these people. At least she doesn't show them initially, and then of course the more they talk to her, the more sympathetic she becomes. And of course, one of the leader of this group of rebels says he knows Ironheart. He was a buddy of his, and he tells her that he gave her a special gift and that she is special. Next thing you know, Dr. Franklin comes in to see Sheridan and says, "Hey, I got contacted from the Underground Railroad. They have Talia. She's not hurt. They want to meet you. You got to come alone. Otherwise, they won't meet up." And Sheridan's like, "Oh, what do you think? Is it safe to do this?" And Franklin says, "I think you should go," basically. And of course, when Sheridan shows up, the person meets him there as a doctor. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing here? I'm supposed to be alone." He goes, "No, I'm the one that is here to meet you." He says that he's been running the whole thing, and he got in with the Underground Railroad, and he's been hiding them.
Who'd have thunk, right?
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
He explains the whole deal to Sheridan, how he got involved. He said it started with doctors saying, starting to hide the telepathic abilities. They needed a place to hide them. He had to get them off Earth. It was too dangerous. So we decided sending them to Babylon 5. And the reason why last season he has that clinic down below, his illegal clinic, was to help hide the telepaths. That's the reason there. Jason's getting getting drunk in the chat.
Oh yeah. I was waiting for you to finish the rundown before I asked him.
This is what I watched. Yes,
2 weeks ago, right?
I was all ready for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So of course, Sheridan gets pissed off at Franklin. He tears a strip out of him for what he did. Threatens him and says, "Hey, maybe I should turn you in."
What are you talking about?
Now, meanwhile, we've had Garibaldi has come to Bester and said, "Hey, I'm doing this as a courtesy, telling you we know where these guys are. They're here. We're going to come and get you in an hour, and we're going to go down there and arrest these guys
together."
So, of course, Bester goes down there by himself before.
Of course he does.
He comes in and into the space, and we've got all the telepaths there, and they're all standing there holding hands. They're going to use their power against him and do something to him. And then Talia steps out of the thing, and she agrees with them and says, "Yeah, we're going to put a stop to you finally." He's like, "Oh, you're not going to do it to me." There's some sort of mental back and forth. And, of course, Talia turns on them, pulls out a gun, and they shoot, and there's a whole bunch of shooting, and basically Bester and Talia are the only ones left.
They're all
and
dead at the
everybody
end.
else is shot.
They're at the end, right?
No, all the
To
other
the
guys
heart.
are shot.
Shot
They're
to
all
the
dead.
heart, and you're to blame.
They're
Yep.
dead. And of course, then
Now you're gonna
Talia
spoil
says,
it.
"Oh yeah, of course I'm on." He says, "I don't know. I didn't know if you'd be on my side or not. I thought you were going to the other side." She's like, "Oh no, of course.
You were mother. You were father.
The Psychor is the father and the mother and all that stuff." And he's like, "Oh, happy." And he's like, "Well, we better get out of here. We don't want to have to explain to Garibaldi when he finds all these dead bodies. Let's just pretend this never happened." And off I go. I'm going to be happy. And he leaves with a smile on his face. And then, of course, Sheridan's standing there and goes, "What happened?" And they explain that they use their powers to give him basically a mental illusion. Everything that he saw was fake, and now he thinks everybody is dead, so they should be safe. They're going to be getting off Babylon 5 anyway. It is too dangerous for them to stay there. So Sheridan's kind of happy about that because he doesn't really want to be, hiding a group of illegals. And then that is about the end of the show. Talia says to Sheridan, "Don't meet Bester. He might be able to read your mind when you leave. I mean, it might betray them." But Talia does walk him off, and she seems to, I think he scans people all the time, but she seems to be able to keep him out. And as he walks away, he kind of stops and takes a look, and he looks back at her, and he has this quizzical look on his face. And then he carries on. So we're not sure. Maybe he knows something is going on. And incidentally, in the same vein, Bester tells Talia to quote, keep a lookout on Sheridan. Keep a watch on him. Watch him. That's basically the end. Other than, I'll just mention the last part. Talia comes into Ivanova's room that night, and basically she wants to talk about the situation and stuff. She needs someone to talk to. She has no one else. Ivanova agrees, but is kind of like, you should remove the badge. She doesn't like that. She sort of ceremonially takes off the badge and puts it on the table. We don't know. Perhaps this is some sort of change in her perspective, and she's, quote, gone over to the other side, so to speak, and is more. And now she was kind of on the line before. Maybe she's against Psychor or not. We don't know. And that's basically the show.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And that's all we got for tonight.
Cam.
God.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I didn't give up too much.
Oh,
Maybe I
you
gave
did.
up a little too much there.
You gave
but
way too much.
There's enough we can talk about in detail. Where should we go, Cam? You
Well-
agree to how many threads in this?
Well, the A storyline obviously is the the Underground Railroad, and then we've got the two minor storylines for my looking at it, which is the credits for Quarters and then the Delenn.
Yeah, and
Wait,
those are really
that was this episode.
Yep.
you get the right one. All right.
Well, you just heard the 20-minute rundown, so
Yeah, I talked about all this last week. What do you?
Well, I'll start out. Let's talk about the main storyline. And just at the very beginning, it was on Mars,
right.
and Bester was there with the Psycop that Talia had looked up that was listed as deceased, and she was involved in the what was that, 1 episode or 2 episodes ago?
The woman that was with him.
Go with
Yeah.
with the assassin.
Yeah, was she the one that was at the station on
Yeah.
Earth in San Diego? Or
yes.
that's what she looked like, and
now
you
she's
only
on
see her
Mars?
for. Well, either that or there was a time when she was trying to get through to Mars, but I don't think it was that one.
I
I
didn't
think it
notice that
was.
she was the same one, but that's
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I think that's a tie together. I think that they didn't specify the what is it, whatever 13 or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't. But we know they have facilities on Mars,
Right?
So I guess I'll start off with talking about Bester a little bit. I think that his character has come together pretty well, in that throughout here, there's kind of sprinkled these things where he can be polite and engage with people seemingly normally, but he also there's these sprinkles of him being just like completely unconcerned with anything but his own needs. Like when he the guy at the beginning, he drags the information out of him as he dies. It's like he doesn't care one
killed
bit.
him.
Right?
he
Yeah.
literally killed the guy. You could see him just kind of go with his
I
and
think
he's like, I got it. Right
that
as he
aspect
died.
was better seen in this one where he doesn't give a crap about Talia.
Yeah, exactly.
Garibaldi
And then
does that.
there's the other thing. It's like yeah, I'm sure she's fine. It's not that he has anything against her. It's just indifference. He's completely, everything is a pawn to him. He is focused on what's important to him and everything
He
else.
has no
But he's got
idea
a
if
5-year-old daughter and a wife. Don't you know?
He has no idea if Talia is fine. He's like, oh yeah, I'm sure she's fine. He has no idea. He doesn't
Right.
care.
Right, exactly. So but I think that's good character development, meaning they're showing us what kind of person he is. But then you're right, they put in this other bit about, oh, I have a wife and 5-year-old daughter or whatever.
Trying to win
like,
over Garibaldi is what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
At that time he was, yes.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what. Well, so what are we supposed to think about this guy?
What do they call that type of person? Sociopath?
Yeah. Yes.
He
He can compartmentalize very well, apparently, right?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of reminds me of like Dexter or a lot of these serial killers that you would see in that regard, where he's just 1 minute, oh yeah, yeah, he's faking it. He's faking his humanity.
Right. It's like
It's a facade
mask he puts on. Yeah.
Yeah. He puts
Anyway,
on,
so I'll be normal and pretend to.
I'll pretend to be everything, and
care
then.
about them.
But in reality, I don't really care. I've got my orders and my directives that I want to implement.
Well, one other thing that I noticed is the woman that had she was impregnated against her will. Let's put it that way. She said she was a P11 or maybe higher. Or no, I'm sorry. She was a P11 and maybe her children would be higher. And then the other guy
I think she was like a P10, and they wanted to mate her or breed her with a P11 in the hopes that they may have even higher rated a child.
Okay, and then the leader of the Underground Railroad, I think, did he say he was a P12 or something, or was he even higher? The point is, these are really high. Talia is a P5. Overtly, she's a P. I mean, she's rated as a P, rated as a P5, and that's commercial telepath. That's kind of like the standard high level
negotiator, commercial type. Yeah,
right.
Not a psychop.
Right. So P11 is like pretty, high powered.
I think you have to be a P10 just to be a psychop.
Right.
I thought it was 12. But maybe you're right.
No,
I don't remember which it is, but yeah, you do have to be. But the point is, these aren't like a P2 or something. These people with some minor ability or whatever. Several of them are really high powered telepaths.
No, but that makes sense though. I would say, because those are the people that Psychors want to get their grips in, right? Like,
right.
Talia grew up with Psychor, and she's kind of, she's been there since she's 5, and so she's kind of a bit messed up that way. But a lot of them would have grown up with families and got trained and stuff, and they might be in her job like her, but they won't not as damaged, right?
Yeah,
and that's not who Psychor is going to go after.
They're definitely painting Psychor as a particular party from the bad guys from WW2.
Well,
trying to keep it safe.
I'm suggesting that the guys I think that the Underground Railroad types are going to be the higher levels, because they're the ones who are going to get messed with and have to do things they don't want to do and get experimented on.
They already have been.
Yeah, they got much more reason to try to escape. So I think that's you're going to have more of those higher levels up there, but maybe maybe not.
Another thing they did, they referred to the Ironheart thing with flashbacks a couple times, and then they also, Garibaldi talked about how basically Psychor, it's like a monster that non-telepaths created. It was like their fear of telepaths forced them into becoming what they are now. It's like unintended consequences of being worried about telepaths has led them to this. And I thought that was kind of.
I wanted to talk about that.
Okay, sure.
in a little bit more detail. I thought that was an interesting little speech by Garibaldi. I wonder how much it reflects the writers, but basically Garibaldi says, we took. I mean, the way that I think it sort of refers to us or at the present time or when the show was written. He basically says, we took away these people's rights because we were afraid of them, and now it's morphed into this thing that this giant snake-like organization that he says I'm afraid of all the time. So I took that as a bit of a warning, like not to don't take away people's rights whatever they are just because you're afraid of them, because it'll morph into this monster. I thought that was very interesting, that I think Straczynski is trying to tell us a little.
Well, and if you look at World War II, World War I into World War II, that is kind of what happened. What is it? The League of Nations basically stripped Germany of all their dignity and everything following World War I, and in turn, that's what led to the rise of that bad group of people, and that are very, very similar. If you notice in style, even in I think the term Garibaldi used was jackbooted thugs, or was that Sheridan? One of them used that term when they were talking. And just look at Bester, the way he's dressed with the high boots, and just the way he walks and acts, and proudly wearing that symbol, and there's definitely some
oh yeah, for sure.
They're trying. It's trying to relate so that we can kind of picture and see history possibly repeating itself, that type of thing. And maybe that's what they're leading to. Maybe that's where we're going, where the Psi Corps is basically trying to rise to power and take over Earth.
Well, we've seen them interfering in elections and things.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting because he mentions rights. Like, we took away these people's rights, and now we've created this thing to keep control of them, and now it's a monster. So.
Well, and that's exactly like I said. That's what happened with World War I. We created the monster. The Allies from World War I created the monster that became to power in World War II.
Well, there's also another reference in the episode here. Back to the assassination that Bester is asking specifically about what the command staff talks about in regards to the death of the president.
Do they talk about it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And then he asks her to, continue to spy on them about that specifically.
Be seeing you. Yeah. That was at the end, keep your eye on Sheridan and the rest of them.
Jason.
Yeah.
Want a Jason comment? You want to jump in? Got anything?
Well, as far as the whole jackbooted thugs thing, I think what we're looking at here is with Psi Corps, it seems to me that we're afraid of these people. We're going to put them in a certain category and we're going to group them all together. And it almost is like some of them said, okay, we'll take this and we'll take control of it and organize. And the thought process is we'll organize this group to control the overall population that's telepathic, not realizing that they're basically handing the keys to the asylum to the inmates.
Right.
Yeah.
And it comes in. It might be all well and good intention wise to begin with, to put them all in one place, but then inevitably you have a certain group of them that rise to a certain level of power and influence because of the nature of how they were organized.
Yeah.
And your skill levels, your set levels, your your P3s and your P5s and your P11s and P10s, if they're policing themselves, well, they're doing so well that now we become this official police and it just kind of starts to snowball off of that. And I think we're looking now with Bester at what happens next. This is the unintended consequences section of the book, right?
Yeah.
So,
And there's a couple of in the whole storyline. There's things where they're, I mean, with, for example, the rent. I know it's the minor plot, but with the whole rent thing, you know, it's like them trying to become oppressive and blah blah blah, and you know, they're showing the rise of pushing for more and more and more, taking more from the people that are, you know, not just the civilians but the soldiers, you know, trying to take away everybody's freedom, if you will, because Sheridan did give a little bit of a freedom speech, but very interesting. Where I see where he was trying to go though with a lot of this, you know, pushing the whole fascism thing, and you're seeing how fascism comes to power. I think that's where he was going with this.
I mean, it only seems, you know, it seems unusual that Earth would go this way because, I mean, the inherent power of someone, you know, they've got this power. They can basically read minds, and you know, you don't even know they're doing it to you. I mean, that would be a perfect way for the, you know,
Surface scan, right? Isn't that
it's a
what you call it?
huge, it's a huge advantage in any type of social situation for anything. It's not unusual that I'm not surprised that, you know, telepaths would become, you know, very powerful in certain areas. I mean, yeah.
Well, and they haven't, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. They were very like the whole plot line. Now, I do like the twists and whatnot. Where are we going next with this? Because we know Bester is definitely very high, P12 at least, and his complete lack of or total disregard for these people. You know, when he and Talia are they are meeting for breakfast, which of course she's not really wanting to do, but you could kind of tell. But she's like, oh yeah, absolutely, I would be happy to, you know, or something, you know, she's putting on a mask of her own, if you will, to Bester, and she even says to herself, you know, I should have been. He's scanned me twice, and still hasn't. He should be seeing this. This is right after she moves the penny again, which I think is really funny because aren't we getting rid of the penny now? And yet she's got a regular penny sitting there.
Yeah, why does she have an antique penny laying around?
I know, right?
right.
Well, she had one. Now it's stuck in the wall. It's embedded itself in a solid wall. So apparently she's
I
got
actually
some
think
power.
that was just going back a little bit. It's interesting that you know, in this situation, Bester is actually right. He's actually following the law. He's the one who is, you know, is legal. Like these people are on Babylon 5 illegally. They, you know, entire Earth government and everybody on Earth seems to agree that, you know, telepaths can't just be running around unchecked. It would be chaos.
There is
you
such
know,
a thing as lawful evil.
yeah. So he's actually in the right. And you know, as Garibaldi says,
Yeah.
Garibaldi points out at the beginning of the episode, and so, you know, in the past we've seen Bester doing things which are, you know, you know, the legality of it is questionable, but this, I mean, you know,
Well, in
it's
this
not,
episode
it's
alone,
not,
we saw it.
well, it's not legal. I mean, he's legally wanting to, you know, capture these people because they legally have to. They have telepathic abilities. They legally have to be, you know, looked
Yeah.
after by
That's not,
Psycorp.
but that's not the
Right?
reason he wants to capture them.
Oh, I know, but
It's a shame. It's a shame they're all dead, but because we could have used them for experiments.
yeah, but I was saying he's following the law legally. He
Yeah.
is actually
That doesn't make it right. Just
well,
because something is the
he's
law doesn't
finally
make it
lawful.
right.
Is my
Well,
point.
to quote Jean-Luc Picard, just because there's I'm going to paraphrase, there are some times when the right thing to do is not the moral thing to do. And I think that's what you're looking at here.
Yeah.
Bester is, the letter of the law, but at the same time, you have the spirit of the law and how laws can be, and this is a good example too, from a story standpoint of allegory showing how laws can be abused
Mm.
in their application and enforcement. And, we're starting to see that, now in the UK, for example.
Oh, yeah.
But, in World War II and with the Stasi and people turning on each other. And, even here 5 years ago,
Right.
during lockdown.
Here's a hotline call. Turn in your neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
For having more than 3 people at their house.
Yeah. So
fascism.
I think, yeah. Well, and I think too, the other thing is, Bester, while he's the villain, this also gives us a little bit more dimension to him. Yeah, okay, with the family and the other thing, the personal life and whatnot, that's a layer. But the fact that he's doing what he thinks is the right thing to do, and Garibaldi has to sit there and go, technically he's right. He's there. There's this law, and we're duty bound because we wear a uniform. We gotta follow the law. So when Doc comes in and says, "Oh, it was me. I'm running the Underground Railroad." It's one. I was very surprised that it was Franklin. But it does make a certain amount of sense, especially when you're given the setup of the clinic and down below, and, it's various different things along the way that have led to this. But Sheridan is right in blowing up and sitting there going, "Wow, what are you doing here?
Right.
You've put me in a very, very untenable position." Now, along those lines, I will say this: it seems to me that somebody on the writing staff said, "Hey, in season 2, we didn't give Dr. Franklin very much to do. So how about we front load season 2 with all Dr. Franklin stuff?" I mean, how much has he done in the last 10 episodes now? He's done more than he did the entire first season. He's had a murder mystery. He's done alien autopsies. He's running the Underground Railroad. He's got the clinic down below. He's had
that was the front of the Underground Railroad, though.
Yeah, no, but that was that
was a tie-in. It was a tie-in that
all of these things. I mean, Franklin's had so much to do this season. It's almost like somebody said, "You know what? We got this character here. We haven't done anything with him."
And I think that's good, to be honest. I don't know about you or Cam or Snob. What do you guys think? I mean, I think it's kind of.
Well, let me go back to first. Jason said, Bester doing the right thing to do. Let me say that I still think that Bester doesn't care about what is the right thing to do. He might be on the side of the law this time, but he really doesn't care. He's just going to do whatever is best.
No, I don't. I didn't say he thinks he's. I didn't say he thinks the right thing to do. He's doing what's right in his mind. In this particular pursuit, he has, and not necessarily the fact that he's a sociopath or not. He has a certain number. He has a certain set of goals and values and principles, and what's right for him in terms of being Psy-Corps and the job that he does and the focus that he has and the priorities he has, his definition of what's the right thing to do is going to be different from everybody else. But he still thinks that he's in the right. He still thinks that he's doing the right thing based on his principles and valuable, and in rounding up all these people, because we have to protect the general public from these people. And two, we have to be able to control them. And I think that's what it is. We control the public perception of these people, and we control their behavior by bringing them into Psycor and giving them a choice. You either are part of Psycor or we take away your abilities. And to him, that's the right thing to do, not only from the standpoint of dealing with the telepaths, but dealing with the general population. We're going to control what the general population thinks about these people.
Well,
We'll get them scared in order to make it easier to round them up, and then we can take control of them.
this brings up an interesting side question about these people are leaving Earth. I mean, they're literally going away, presumably, elsewhere, removing themselves from the supposed problem. Right? It's like, hey, there's a problem in our society we have to control. Well, they're leaving your society, so that's kind of questionable. So obviously, well, I think, and part of what you said was it really is about control and using these people as resources, like the woman, the P10 or P11 or whatever she was. They want her.
Yeah.
She's a valuable resource.
And that goes back to rounding them up so that then we can have them
right
for whatever purposes we're going to employ.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just saying that this thing about them leaving kind of, should make a reasonable person say, well, why is that a problem? They're gone. Why I don't have to worry about them, right? In terms of, oh, we're protecting you. It dispels that claim a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think that Bester cares anything about the stated understood legal goals of Psycor. I think he's completely into the evil portion of it there, and he simply is whatever, he's involved with some sort of conspiracy, and he wants to push that because he's more than happy to break the rules. All, like as I said, all the time. He appears to be scanning people all the time. He doesn't follow the rules. So
he's got his own agenda for sure.
He does whatever he's doing. He does it, and he doesn't give a crap about protecting people. He just simply he'll use that and say that if he needs to.
But we saw this before.
Hang on. I never said that his agenda is doing what's legal. That he cares about what's legal. I never said that. He's doing what he thinks is right by his priorities and principles.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. Whether it's illegal or it's legal or not. If it's legal, that's fine. I can use it. But if it's not legal, well, we'll paint in that gray area, and it's just like we don't need to be here when Garibaldi shows up and finds all these dead bodies.
Well, the first time
I don't even think Bester is doing what he thinks is right. He's doing what he wants to do and what is his agenda. And I don't think
in his mind, his agenda is what the right thing to do in terms of controlling these telepaths.
I don't even think he cares that much about controlling the telepaths, just that he wants to use them for his abilities.
Well, if he can't control them, they're a threat. So he does have a concern.
He's a typical control freak dictator type. People are pawns.
He wants to be. He certainly wants to be.
To use them for his nefarious plans.
And importantly, we saw a very stark example that they are a threat. You get a couple of them together, and they're overpowering one of the most powerful telepaths there is.
Right.
Well, only with Talia's help. Right? Like that's what the leader said. We wouldn't have been able to do this with Talia.
Without but she tipped the balance.
Her special ability. So
Talia wouldn't have been able to do it without whatever it is that Ironheart gave her.
Yeah, and probably without those guys. But just imagine all those guys, and we know that one of them it was a P11, and Bester's a P12, we think, or maybe higher. But even with all those people there who are probably higher than your normal telepaths, they still needed Talia with her special ability that we don't know about yet.
I have to say that he didn't look
be the most powerful telepath. She might be the most powerful telepath other than Ironheart in human history right now, right? Even then, they still needed that to do what they did to him.
Well, next to I mean, what you mean, Talia or the other fellow? Because that the leader of this group, remember, he was also friends with Ironheart.
Yeah,
and he
said he's never as good as him, but he was also experimented on.
Yeah, they both went through similar types of treatments, if you will.
Well, I don't know if anyone remembers the actor who's playing the leader of the Underground Railroad. Well, not Franklin, the other guy, the telepath guy. He was in an earlier episode in season 1, I think.
Yeah, he
And
was.
I don't remember if it's the same character or not. It's, he has a speech impediment or something, so it's kind of hard to. He's not like he's someone that would stand out a bit. So I'm wondering if it was supposed to be the same character.
Yeah, isn't it
Yeah,
Garibaldi comes to him looking for
Yes.
somebody? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And I'm like, oh, it's interesting. I wonder if
This
it's
is
on
when he went to
purpose.
the down below.
Yeah.
And he was looking for
And he's looking at, and he was
crazy
kind of
guy.
looking at him and asking him weird questions. Like he was very
He was
sort
also
of with Garibaldi.
he was also a victim of the Goa'uld in Stargate on the planet. What was the planet? With the pyramid?
There was a lot of
He has-
planets.
He has a
No,
bad
the
time.
first one.
Stargate.
It's the first planet they landed on. What's that called?
I
I
don't know.
just went blank. Anyway, he was part of the group that was running around with
Anubis?
Skara.
Is it Anubis? No, Anubis
No,
was the god.
yeah, the kids that ran around following O'Neill.
Yeah.
He was the one that got killed at the end.
Oh, okay. So that was a long
All
time ago.
What was
It was
that?
in the
I think
Stargate movie.
we missed the second question. What was your second part of your question there, Jeff?
Oh,
Was it-
well, what I was going to say is, it seems that Bester, we've seen him use the law as it is to his advantage. We saw that the first episode that we met him trying to
Yeah.
use the law, and remember the back and forth with Commander, from the first season. Yeah, with Sinclair. He went back and forth with Sinclair, trying to one up each other using legal loopholes to achieve it. So he is clearly not above using the law to his own desires, and I think this is just another example of that, using the law towards his own benefit. Towards it's a means to an end. Any means necessary.
My impression of this is just again my impression of Bester is that he has no interest. He only is interested in himself and whatever his agenda is, and whoever he's working for to get through that, push that agenda. He everything is a piece used to reach that. He doesn't care about
Right.
any of the telepaths. He doesn't care about humans or their
The president
telepaths.
the president meant nothing to him.
Yeah,
as far as
he's
he was
got.
concerned. I'm sure he had something to do with
He's
it.
focused on whatever it is he's doing. Doesn't care about anybody else.
The big question is,
so,
does he
he
actually?
doesn't. I don't think he believes he's. He needs to protect people from telepaths. I don't think he cares about that. He doesn't care about
Nope.
any of those other things except for whatever his agenda is. But
He's trying to rise to power,
yes, yeah,
and
rising to power is his main thing.
I think he wants to be. He thinks he's the one that should be in control of everything.
At least up at high in there.
And,
I think it's like a classically written villain. That he's
Oh, yeah.
just.
He does this. He does. If I was not such a huge Star Trek, classic Trek fan, I probably, and I had never seen it, I could definitely hate the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like in Game of Thrones, the kid, that was the
Joffrey.
leader, Joffrey. Yeah. Oh man, I wanted to strangle the kid. And I think everybody else did. Now I'm sure he was a great actor, because that's what he was invoking, was that emotion. Bester is very much in that same vein. And like I said, had I not been also a fan, of Chekhov, so he does a great job. Totally the opposite of the way Chekhov was. He definitely broke any stereotype or any typecasting, I think, with this role.
just to Umbra's point here, we'll have to get in someone like Michael here, who's really knowledgeable about all the Babylon 5 stuff. I'm sure he can tell us the differences between the levels and the psych levels there. All right. What's next?
If it's logarithmic, that would be kind of like earthquakes or hurricanes or anything like. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Cam, what's next?
I'm looking up about the guy here who appeared in season 1. I think he was in Chrysalis.
Chrysalis, yeah.
Which
that was towards
you mean
the end of
the
season
leader
1.
Leader of the telepaths, you mean?
Yeah, and I'm trying to shortcut it by using Grok, and it's a stupid moron that doesn't know anything.
Is there
welcome to AI?
We don't know that guy's name at all. We're never given his name in this episode. I don't believe.
They're listed as telepath number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Telepath leader, something like
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So that they are credited. They're just credited kind of.
But they're not given any.
Yeah, they're not given specific names. So, but at any rate.
Okay, so what about Bester at the end with the look that he gives Talia? Is he?
Well, he was clearly expecting to be able to scan her and failed.
I think you're right.
Did
Cam.
he fail, or did he scan her and find nothing?
Well, I don't. Clearly, he thinks something's wrong, and maybe an absence of anything would be that indication. So we're not sure exactly what he saw or didn't see, but we know that something was off.
She should be hiding something. Everybody does. I think it might be that kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she kind of gives him a look like, like what?
Well,
I'm evil just like you. Mm-hmm.
I think that's interesting because I'm wondering, like, does her gift make it look like? Does it make it impossible for you to scan her, or does it make it you scan her and find nothing? Because if you
well, what will be the difference? How would you know the difference?
I don't know. I mean, that's my point. Is can you tell? Can you I'm trying to scan you and I'm completely blocked. That's weird.
I'm sure Bester has dealt with.
See nothing.
I mean, Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, right? That's what she didn't know that. All these other ones that you see that with the first guy that he's literally torturing and ultimately kills. He starts reciting Mary had a little lamb. That's how he's trying to keep the secrets. And at a moment of his death, it took him dying for that last thought to be a Babylon 5, and that was what how Bester knew. So he could tell people are concealing it.
Well, they're concealing. Yeah, they're concealing it by putting some thought in their mind and therefore there's no other.
Right, and she's not, and he should be able to see when somebody is shielding their thoughts and keeping the walls up, keeping other telepaths from reading. And I'm guessing that he's not even able to tell that there's a wall up because he did before. I think when we saw, I don't know if it was Talia or her predecessor. It was Talia, right? When Bester first showed up the first time.
Yeah.
So
there was only a different actor in episode 0.
Right. So, he could tell that. I think back then, I thought we saw an example of that where, she was keeping her mind, her shields up, so to speak, from him, or from the girl. I mean, I think it was from the girl.
She probably has developed some techniques of her own, like the Mary Had a Little Lamb. So she wouldn't necessarily be doing that one, but maybe she has other defenses that she's learned.
There's a difference between putting up
telepathic vessels,
putting up blocks to random voices from normal people, and to put up a block against the scan. I had read something, and I'm not sure how supported this is in official stuff, but that you had to be a fairly high level, like something like a P8, to be able to block a telepathic scan.
By the way, the actor's name is Janine Loeffler.
Yeah.
He's credited as Lurker for this particular episode. He's actually a pretty skilled actor, member of the Actors Conservatory, the Actors Gym, studied at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute.
Wow.
This kid's got some credentials.
Mm.
But yeah, he's the one that was the leader of the
Telepaths, yeah.
Mm.
I assume that they're simply just trying to make it hard to read their minds by reciting, this Mary had a little lamb, just to sort of keep, so
Like
you're
chaff.
scanning them and all you're seeing is
like chaff. Yeah.
exactly.
Trying
You're
to
just seeing that stuff.
But-
yeah, but
block
you know
that
what?
way. But I think that's different than actual blocking your
But
thoughts.
I don't think he's picking anything like that up. And I think what's making him wonder is he's not only not picking that up, because there's probably a natural thing where a telepath would naturally kind of have a little bit of shields up to, kind of shield their thoughts.
Your brain is always your brain is probably always doing something. So you should, if I'm
Right.
scanning your brain, I should be seeing something, even if it's just,
Right. And he's not able to pick up any deception or anything. And as you said, or it was said, the absence of anything is what is
suspicious.
disconcerting. Yeah, it's suspicious.
So I think it seems obvious to me that he's leaving and he looks back at her, and he maybe he scanned her that one last time before he left or something. I mean, he's obviously suspicious about something. I suspect it's what you say.
We'll see him again.
But
Clearly.
we don't know.
What wasn't there an incident where they were trying to scan Talia and they were like, no, you have to submit to this or whatever.
Yeah, that was with when Bester was with the girl, right? The girl that died.
Maybe I don't remember.
She was the one that was trying, and she's like, "Get out of my head,"
Yeah, right. Well, but that seemed to indicate that they did have some ability to resist,
and they knew when they were getting scanned.
Yeah.
Bester is pretty good about being sneaky about it.
Yeah,
unless he's going for that deep scan.
Yeah, he might be high enough that he can scan people, some lower level telepaths without them knowing about it.
Right? Well, and we know he does it he did it to Garibaldi just while he's standing there. I mean, in the first time he appeared, he was reading his mind and parroting it back to him.
And I suspect, that Bester's constantly reading. He's almost got a thing about it. He's constantly reading people all the time because he's so, he's a psychop. He's really suspicious. He's basically, a fascist type. Who doesn't trust anybody.
Right.
So
and even
he
though
doesn't follow the rules, so
he clearly not, because you're not supposed to scan normal people without
I think he does it. He's doing it constantly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we move on to the Delenn stuff, maybe?
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Already got more.
Before we do, if we want to stick on this one, let's talk a little bit about Franklin.
Oh, Franklin.
Okay. Let me just say,
don't die on us now. I know you're excited.
This episode made me like Franklin, or at least respect him. I mean, he's doing something that it's not authorized or anything, but he's like, hey, he's got morals, he's got principles. These people are being treated poorly, and he does something about it. It gives him a lot of. It's not until this episode where I'm actually like, okay, well, now I can respect Franklin as a character.
Okay,
he's willing to do stuff,
but he's also done stuff that he shouldn't have been before.
Let me give a counterpoint to that. So if you were talking about alignments in Dungeons and Dragons, right, he would be like chaotic good because he's willing to discard the law to do what he determines is moral, right? We've seen this several times, and that's you could say, okay, good, yeah, if you got a law that is harmful and immoral, then violating that is good. But on the other hand, I'm a little uncomfortable with someone who does that so flippantly as he has done. At least my perspective, and I'm not saying he has gone into something that's self-serving in any way. There's no indication of that, but it makes me like, don't get too much on your high horse there, buddy, where you just think that your moral judgment should override everything else. And I don't mean for yourself. Obviously, as it pertains to yourself, it has to be. But I'm going to break the law. I'm going to siphon funds from somewhere to do what I think is right. It's like, you're on the edge there in some ways.
I mean, what would you consider Garibaldi though?
No, it just. I see Cam's point, but again, like this is, in the past he's done things on his own, but they're kind of been self-serving. Like with the episode about the kid, they don't want to cut into him because it's he'll lose his soul and that kind of thing.
Well, that's chaos right there.
He's he's being arrogant there, and our beliefs are right. There's a touch of arrogance, but this is obviously a
altruistic
allegory to slavery, right?
Yeah.
They're making an allegory to slavery.
That's why they picked the black guy to do it, obviously.
And they call it the Underground Railroad. I mean, and this is completely different. He's taking considerable risk himself. He's risking and these people are risking, and it's altruistic, and these people are obviously, their rights have been trampled on, akin to the rights of slaves in America back in
fair enough.
Right. Pick your time.
Right.
This makes me think his character is actually, the other times were, sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. It's a little bit questionable. Sometimes this is completely
no. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Yeah, you've got the horror stories, right? But is it or is it not a point of debate, at least in this story world, that there is the society has decided there is a legitimate purpose for controlling telepaths, and you're saying, oh no, it's altruistic because they're opposing that. Well, that's not what that society has decided. And I'm not saying just because society decides something, it's good, but this is
decided that slavery was good one time.
Okay, you're not understanding my point. It's that there is a debate in this society about this issue. It's not just, obviously telepaths should be able to run around and do whatever they want. There was a legitimate concern about that. And just because they're likening it to slavery in this case, doesn't mean that it is. From the standpoint of the world, I'm a libertarian type. I'm like, F you. Yeah, hell yeah. Freedom. Right. So I'm not arguing my personal opinion here. I'm talking about the world and what they've established. And they fear
what they don't know.
Okay.
Well,
so
it's true. But
my question would be, is that a legitimate fear or not? Because we've heard that there's a fear, but we don't have any. I mean, they might exist, but we don't have any stories of telepaths running rampant.
You're in for a surprise, buddy. Because if you
I'm
haven't seen it, look at Bester. You've just talked about how Bester's a fascist, and now you're turning around and saying that these telepaths.
No, but I'm just saying before, but we put in. But
they're just doing it within the law.
Bester is a product of what they've done.
Unintended consequences, which is always a danger and a separate issue.
My point being is, if the society is upset that if they're saying, "Oh, telepaths are a threat," I mean, they're a threat now because they've put them into this situation where they can control other telepaths and do all these horrible things. But when these laws were first put in, I don't see anything, there's been nothing within the universe so far that has shown that they actually did need this law to protect people from telepath. There was no, it's not like I'm going to go.
We haven't seen a justification yet.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Star Trek.
We've been told, but
Khan is genetic experimentation is disallowed in the Star Trek universe because they had a war over it, right? All these people came on, they were genetically better. They decided they're going to wipe out, or take over and control Khan. I mean, there's you go. Okay, well, you guys have a reason to,
Okay, wait a minute. Do we really need a deep explanation for this? Is it beyond our ability to imagine? Let's say there are telepaths in our world that are running around and they can read the mind of every politician, every person, every business owner, and use that information for blackmail, let's say.
Right.
Now, you don't think that is a reasonable point to question, at least, and say, is this something that is going to turn our society upside down?
It certainly is a reason for politicians to pass legislation.
Well,
I
okay.
mean,
Yeah, well, obviously, when you get politics involved and when you start getting regulations on things, it rarely turns out right. But I'm saying from the basis of it, is that not easily understood that people being able to read other people's minds and violate their privacy,
I
a
mean,
legitimate concern?
yeah.
Of course. I mean, we can sit here and think up all kinds of reasons why things are not, bad. What bad things can happen? For sure, we can do that. I'm saying that again in the universe. We have not seen a reason why. At least I don't think we have a reason why these laws should be put into place. As far as we know from the universe, it's that we know telepaths exist. They can read people's minds. We're all scared. Put a stop to this. Put them all in camps and do all this stuff.
Yeah, the
That's
story,
all what we've known.
the story certainly takes the position that you are, right?
Right.
And again, I do personally, I kind of
That's my
side
point.
that way too. I'm not a regulation guy. Because someone has the capacity to do something doesn't mean that they lose their freedom because you're scared. So I'm not arguing that point, but I think that it's at least implied in the story that because you have people like Bester and and again the rogue telepath who's also a high level P just naturally, that they could do a lot of damage. And so what I'm saying, where you started out with this was with Franklin, and Franklin is a guy who says, "Eff it, I'm making a moral judgment, and I'm trampling what a society decides because I personally say that this is right." And that is a dangerous place to be if you are not very careful about it. It's like vigilantism, kind of. It's like, hey,
Right.
a vigilante goes and takes out a criminal. That's great. Well, what happens when they decide, well, that other guy is a bad guy too? And that's why we don't support those things. So again, I personally consider myself a liberty-minded person, and I'm not for regulations. But on the other hand, I'm not stupid enough, and I'm not trying to call anybody stupid here, to say, well, I'm just going to flout the law and toss it out because I feel like it. And that's it. It is, and
But but my point is that things only change when someone has the balls to stand up and go against whatever the societal thoughts are about whatever it is, right? And I'll go back to slavery again. Everybody thought slavery is fine until some people started coming up and saying, "Hey, this is bad," and then eventually they were able to convince enough people to put a stop to it. And that's how everything is
okay.
fine.
So you're John Brown. You have the John Brown attitude. Then it is the way I'm looking at this. Any means necessary to get rid of the evil. And isn't that also?
I didn't say any means necessary. I mean, Franklin is not. He's doing what he can.
I'm saying that's that's a tiny step away from that. When you have decided that
he's not doing anything.
Well,
hold on, he's not murdering people. He's not.
Time out, because you guys are just going back and forth and not listening.
Straczynski won. He got us talking.
Here's the thing that the point that has been missed is Franklin, when he's justifying his actions to Sheridan, says, "I'm a doctor. I have a moral obligation to do things that may not necessarily be within the letter of the law, not because I think I'm right, not because I'm better, not because it's my idea, my way, or whatever. It's I have a moral obligation because of the oath I took to save lives."
That's not saving. No, that's not. This is outside of his range of his ethical position. This is not a medical issue. It
kind of is.
Not medical can also include psychological, lifestyle, quality.
Why can't
of
Bester
life,
make the same claim then? Why can't Bester say no? I am the expert on this.
He does, and that's the thing is those two things come in opposition to each other.
Right.
But
but who's more qualified for telepaths, though, Bester or Franklin?
Well, that's the thing is it's a moral question. Then it's not a right or wrong question. It's who has the moral authority. And when Bester comes in and his morality is, I'm going to control these people. Franklin's morality is, I'm going to save these people so they can have a better quality of life.
Yeah, the underlying motivations you're talking about, though.
Well, yeah,
but Franklin has a good motivation and Bester does not.
But that's the moral code of the characters.
Yeah, but it's not. You were citing Franklin's position as a doctor, as he has an ethical obligation, and I'm saying Bester has an ethical obligation under that system, just the same way that there's a doctor system. You know,
But see, because what they're doing is they're doing experimentation on humans.
okay,
They're
that's a
doing,
side issue though. That is
but,
something that they're abusing the system, you know, because
but
Bester
that
is a bad guy.
but these
I
people
don't
are
think
running
Bester
away
has any
from
ethics
that.
at all.
These people
No,
are
he
running
doesn't.
away from being experimental. I mean,
I understand.
basically
They are
everything that was
100%
done
in the
in
right.
World War II to a particular group of people is what they
So
are doing
anyway,
to these people.
about the rent.
No, we got to finish on this
Changing the
one.
subject now.
No, don't change the subject. Come on.
Well, this is
I
the
still
sort of
think-
this is the sort of question that a good show, a well-written
Will make you
sci-fi
think.
show, is
Yep.
is making you consider, right? And I'm arguing from I'm being a devil's advocate here. Again, I don't agree with Bester. You know,
Right.
that's not the point. The point is that good fiction makes you think about these topics, and
From different aspects,
right.
different sides of the issue. Yes, we know Bester's a bad guy. That's clear. He murders without, indiscriminately.
Right. And so and I know Jason wants to move on, so I'll end my part hopefully by saying that the slippery
it's not
slope.
necessarily that I want to move on. It's just you guys keep saying the same thing over and over again, and we're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry if my commentary doesn't please you. I guess
no.
Like
I said,
John makes a point. You guys are making
Straczynski
the same
won.
point over again.
He nailed this.
So
He
just
nailed this in this episode.
Summarize your points then. Summarize your point about Franklin Cam.
Sure.
You know what? I'll go first. I think this shows Franklin growing a little bit. He's doing something that is much more altruistic than he has been in past. I think it shows a different side of his character, and it starts me to make to think, he's going to be sort of the moral center, perhaps, of the show, or at least he's moving towards that. Maybe, I don't know, or at least some sort of moral center, and then maybe some other moral centers are going to clash with that or something. But I think this sort of brings out a lot. That's my point about Franklin.
And I don't disagree. I can agree with everything you've said, and I do as a personally agree with that. But what we just talked about was part of this story is that we're talking about the Garibaldi talks about the unintended consequences of Psychor and people's fear leading to bad things, right? Okay, I'm saying there are also unintended consequences from declaring yourself the moral arbiter over a society and the things that they decide. It's a slippery slope that you got to be careful with. That's all I'm saying.
One man making big decisions is kind of an interesting. You've got two different men that are making decisions for what they think is right that happen to clash, and be diametrically opposed to one another. And are they both wrong? Not necessarily. So yeah.
But that nuance is good in a story, like you said.
Oh yeah, no. Like I said, Straczynski nailed it. This is I think one of the first times in the show where it's like literally it's like bam, right to bullseye. So what's the next subject?
All right, well, let's do you want to talk about Dalin then?
Sure.
Is that what you guys, or do you want to?
Where was Jason? You had suggested, was it Dalin you wanted to move on to, or
that's fine.
Oh, he said the rent.
The rent.
Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about the rent, do we? But Dave, I think Dave's probably the.
Let's ask Hathers.
He'll know. All right, so Dalin. Who wants to go first?
They're making it clear that she's supposed to be really hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's wearing a black dress, a little black dress, LBD, right? And everything. And
showing some cleavage.
The guys are turning their heads, and he's like,
Minbari,
if they turn their heads any further, they'll have whiplash.
Yeah. Did Minbari have cleavage prior?
They don't show cleavage.
Yeah.
No, they didn't show it with those tunics or whatever they wore.
Until this point, it's been. I mean, even Talia in this is shown in in her nightie or whatever, and she covers it up when Bester calls her, and when she turns for the camera.
Notice she answers though without that. It's like, oh
yeah, and then
who's calling?
And it's been and we've seen Ivanova a couple times in her whatever sleepwear. So those are the two that are usually the sexy ones. So I guess Dalin's got to get her time.
Let's not forget Jakar.
Oh yeah, well, just Jakar. And Jakar is, I half expect to see Jakar walking around in a smoking jacket. You know, I think it would fit. It would fit his
So
personality.
okay, so let's it's been implied a little bit that Sheridan's kind of was a little his head was a little turned. I mean, his head was turned last week by one of Londo's wives, but hasn't he been a little bit questionable around Delin, sort of like, oh, hello, like a little too happy to see her? And
Maybe.
Well, Sheridan seems really gregarious in general. I mean, they've kind of shown that several times, and he's kind of a dork too with his dad jokes.
Oh yeah. Let me know when you want me to tell those.
I don't.
Well, I will. I'll save them for the end, and we'll pretend it's Sunday. But I'm going to tell dad jokes. Anyway,
and then, so I mean, he seems a little, like he seems a little bit sweet on her, and then she's sort of now she's showing now that she's half human, she's kind of unconsciously, perhaps showing, acting in a human mating way, at least somewhat. Or picking up on some of them somehow.
Well, I mean, she
sending
does
out those kind of signals. Maybe
she does. She is trying to. She wants to understand humanity. She's became whatever she is. This in between to bridge the gap, I guess. So, I think she's kind of longing for the same kind of. She's having that human connection desire, or the desire for human connection and connectivity that we all do, that as humans that we're familiar with, because she does have those, she is exhibiting those qualities. So it makes sense that, and I don't think she was necessarily coming on to him so much as she really does desire. And I think she would have been just as happy going to dinner with the group of people, a small group of people.
Yeah, she might not be understanding the nuances of the signals she's giving there.
Sheridan only.
Right.
She didn't go to. I mean, she's already gone to Ivanova a couple of times to say, "Hey, show me how to comb my hair and all this stuff."
Yeah.
You think that she'd be a little more, "Hey, I want to learn how to be human. Let's go to the girls that I've gone to before."
Well, but she might realize it's like, oh well, men and women go to dinner to do things. So I'm assuming kind of an innocent approach from her standpoint.
Sure.
That she might not be picking up on that there's implications, kind of underlying that.
Or there could be some pheromone things going on that she didn't realize that happened.
Well,
he is a handsome man.
My point is, I think, is with Jeff, there's some sort of underlying, she might not, as Cam said, she might not understand the social nuances about humans, but there's some sort of underlying biological thing that might be pushing her to act in a certain way. Then she doesn't realize that, what's going on, or, it's unconscious or something. And I think Dave has I think you're right, Dave. There's a foreshadowing going on.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. I like what Weatherman said.
Be a thing
with an unlit pipe in it.
She was kind of a thing with
setting her up.
Lanier setting her up.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing with Sinclair too. Like it seemed a little bit questionable there, like last season.
We need to make a note to come back to this exact moment in about 2 years.
Okay.
She seems to have a thing. Whoever the captain of B5 is, right? Because
all right. So somebody remind us.
She was interested in Sinclair for a specific reason.
Right.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder if that got transferred to Sheridan when they had the trapdoor.
Possibly, probably. Which is kind of funny because
well, you might be right, Jason. But I don't think
Sinclair was not. I think Bruce Boxletter is a much more comely man than his predecessor.
Voice is not as deep. I think we're probably us four are probably the last people on Earth who should be looking at a man inside.
I use the word comely. Come on, I'm using fancy words here.
I know.
Comely?
Yes.
It's a D&D thing. It's the only reason I know that.
It's not a D&D thing. It's a word. I learned the word in like 3rd grade.
I learned it from Unearthed Arcana.
It's
Did
pronounced
you really?
Comely.
Comely is the opposite of homely.
Yes.
Well,
I don't,
like a
I don't think
good-looking
it's
person.
pronounced Comely. I don't think it's a. I don't think
It
it's
is
a long
comely.
O.
It is.
Comeliness.
It's
Comeliness.
comely. It's comeliness.
Well,
Oh,
to
we're
address
all right,
Jason's point about
we're going to talk about the pronunciation.
He's a good-looking fella.
okay,
Okay.
I'm trying to talk about Jason's point with Sinclair. Is clearly there was something set up to have continuing interactions with Sinclair and Delenn, and but now obviously the particular story point that they were building that around has been removed from the board, so it can't be literally that. But I think it's fair to wonder if he stepped into that position, even though the same reason isn't there. So
Dave's
Yeah.
point is very good. Whereas Sheridan's a widower.
Yep.
Whereas Sinclair was not. He was in a relationship.
yeah, getting married, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he saw he got whisked away to Minbari.
But Delenn seemed to be coming on to him a little bit last season as well.
Maybe she's just naturally friendly.
Yeah, maybe. But, even before she was half human, she was still seemed to be sending out some signals.
She looks better with
Maybe-
hair.
Maybe didn't know. Oh, yeah, of course. Everybody. Most women do.
Not if you're an Centauri.
Not if you're a Centauri. Yeah, that's true.
Well, they have
But,
hair. They have hair. It's just the ponytail in the back.
True.
and some of them shave it all, right? Yeah. So, okay. So what's our thoughts about Delenn and Sheridan? No final. Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I mean, David says it's there's some foreshadowing going on. Maybe it will. I think he is kind of the happy-go-lucky, just the general overall nice guy, and I think you see that even at the beginning of the episode. The way he's kind of talking about things. So, is it going to go anywhere? Maybe. I'm gonna guess yes, because horn dogs in every corner.
I've seen the next episode, but I haven't seen anything beyond that.
I have not watched it yet. I'm going to, just in case I can find a way to get in next Wednesday. Apparently, there's going to be at least a half a dozen people out there with Starlinks, so I may crash one of them.
But I would say that it's obvious to me that it seems to me like it's going to go somewhere. I mean, it seems obvious that Delenn will want to, if she's half human and she wants to understand humans, understanding
She needs
our
the mate.
mating rituals and our relationships between couples would be an intricate part of what human of the human experience. So it seems obvious to me that she's going to be dating somebody.
What do you call those children?
And why not Sheridan?
Here's another aspect of this that nobody's mentioned yet. The fact that Sheridan is the only human who defeated a Minbari during the war. The fact that they have that history there of animosity and antagonism that really we haven't seen a whole lot on Sheridan's side. But some of the Minbari that have been on the station have just like, oh, it's you. And now she's openly courting a relationship of some sort, whether it's romantic or not remains to be seen.
Right.
But the fact that she's willing to actually, socialize with this guy, there's got to be another aspect of that probably is going to rub the Minbari the wrong way.
Oh, I'm sure.
She's trying to conquer him.
One of the things that Sheridan says is, one day they're shooting at you, the next day they're taking you out to dinner. What a universe.
Yeah.
And he says it with kind of that golly gee, gosh, isn't that a great universe?
The chicks are after me. Yeah, I think that it's a good thing that, it's obvious too that the Minbari are, they've started to question her
Are you
because
human
of this,
now?
of what she's done. Are you Mambari anymore? And anything, if she pursues any kind of thing, this cozying up to, um, you know,
That could
Sheridan.
get
I'm sure this is
disavowed.
gonna come back to haunt her. They're gonna, they're obviously building to something.
You've
They're
been
gonna
seen
challenge her.
having
Yeah, and this is gonna
relations
be
with. I
this is
could
going to
see
be
it.
used against her.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be something coming up, I'm assuming later in the season, where the Mimbari are going to challenge her or, try to remove her from her post or some sort of problem like that she's going to have to deal with. And, this kind of thing will be used against her.
Yeah.
I would assume. But, I don't know.
Times they are changing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I
now
know.
you want to get to the
To the what?
most important sub story.
The most
rent.
important sub story. What, the rent?
Yeah,
I mean, you guys want to talk about you can. I don't think you should even bother. I mean,
I like
okay, let me give my 2 cents.
Okay.
I agree with Sheridan 100%. I've been in the military. This is the kind of BS that they throw on you,
yeah.
and it's usually
Wow.
garbage. And he's right. If you don't stand up to it, they're going to keep sticking it to you. So I was like totally on his side for that.
It'd be like them deducting from your paycheck while you're active duty for providing you shelter.
Or you're charging you for airfare for getting shipped overseas.
Right. It's kind of
My objection to it is the fact that it exists at all as a storyline. It's done.
it was pointless.
Well, in the context of this episode, with everything else that's going on,
It could have been
doesn't
cut.
fit. It's a monkey wrench. It's a canker sore in the middle of this thing where it's like it completely whiplashes because of the tone. Because you have you have this dark Bester is coming after these people. There's this really dark, threatening, dangerous thing. Oh, hey, we're going to complain about the rent. I was it's such a jarring.
Yeah,
back
it
and
wasn't
forth.
well placed.
It
was-
wasn't well placed. It wasn't paced correctly. It wasn't edited well. It was just in there. I was like, hold on. You're in the middle of an investigation of the Underground Railroad and all of this other stuff that's going on, and you're trying to make sure that Bester doesn't kill people, and the rent. It was just such the juxtaposition of the two just didn't fit. Do it in another episode where it's maybe a lighter episode. But
Yeah, or if it
didn't
included
fit.
different characters, maybe even it wasn't
Yeah.
Sheridan.
It just doesn't
Maybe.
fit here.
Maybe.
I mean, I think Jason has a good point. The other side of it is, though, I think they're. I mean, are they trying to give us a little bit more that Sheridan's willing to stand up even to the petty stuff? Maybe that's an aspect they're trying to show us. Maybe the fact that Ivanova seems to be on, like, she doesn't care about the rent, but she's like, whatever you say, boss, I'll go along with you. I'll sleep in your, in your office on the couch that I don't, feel comfortable on, and deal with your snoring and your stupid jokes that I really don't like. So I guess they're trying to get that in there for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I am assuming that's what they wanted to get through, but who knows? It did seem jarring and out of place.
Yeah.
Cam.
Yeah, I think you're right that the story itself wasn't the problem. It's that it didn't belong in this episode.
Is it important that he's standing up to the are we going to get something later that he's going to have to stand up to the bureaucrats and stuff, and this is kind of setting up for that maybe?
Well, if you're going to do that in this episode, though, why not make it related to the perceived crime that we're investigating?
Yeah, Bester.
Well, maybe he's like, hey, what?
He's coming to get the rent.
Well, no, it's you've got this organization, this Underground Railroad thing, and Bester's coming to smash it. But this is where Sheridan could sit there and say, well, they're leaving. What do you care? and push against
Mm-hmm.
the system a little bit, push against the machine, and he and Bester are going to be naturally antagonistic to each other. And instead of pushing back on the rent, he could be pushing back on this idea that they've got to arrest all these people who are about to leave your jurisdiction forever. They're going to be gone. What do you care?
Well,
Why-
they weren't going to be gone. I mean, they're leaving now because of Bester finding out about them. But
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
they're
well-
all, that's the whole point of the Underground Railroad, is to get them out and
But-
to go other places, go someplace
they didn't-
out there.
they didn't mention them going other places. They seem to be collecting them at Babylon 5 and not.
Okay, well,
Well,
the whole purpose of an
a hub.
Underground Railroad is to get people out of one place and into another. This was a
No,
transfer station.
Yeah.
I agree,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Yeah,
they-
and it was so much as
They did
as
say
said
that in the
so.
episode,
Yeah,
is they're leaving.
Bester called it that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
but
got
did
to
they-
be.
did
There's
we
got
know-
to be a
Yeah,
hub.
but we didn't know where they were moving to, or where. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good point.
But
Well,
the
that's
whole
what-
thing underscores the fact that Bester, he really doesn't. The overt reason for protecting the public from telepaths is blown out of the water. If you think about it, it is
Well-
about the other part, about his corruption and wanting to control people.
Yeah,
But what if
you're right.
the
They said
alien
they were
races
sending
get a
them
hold of
to-
humans that have that power and they get that ability or whatever? I could see that you could run wild with it endlessly.
Yeah,
Well,
I think they
yeah.
said something about them sending them to the outer colonies or something like that. Maybe
Mm.
I just sort of kind of remember that. Right, they were going to the outer colonies where it's hard to find them or something. So maybe you're right, Jason. They're
Yeah,
just
I-
missed it
There
initially.
excuse me. There was one more detail that I don't know if anybody mentioned, was that Bester, because I think this is Bester's first encounter with Sheridan, and
I was-
Ivanova tells him to look up Bester.
He
Yeah.
does.
get
He
up to
does.
speed. But Bester commented, it's like, oh, I was hoping that he expected Sheridan to be more cooperative, on his side, because again, remember the conditions of Sheridan being put in this position. He was chosen, by
Brass.
different forces, right?
Yeah.
That it apparently Bester thought that he would have a better connection with.
Other than Sinclair, who was basically picked by the Minbari.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And that's why I'm like, well, why would he naturally have an antagonistic whatever? And I don't think he was at first.
No, he didn't seem to be. I mean, maybe
But
a little bit.
Susan kind of clued him in and said, yeah, you might want to read up on these files.
Yeah. Maybe
It's
he seemed a little bit hesitant at the beginning, but mainly because he didn't jump on the bandwagon right off the bat.
Well,
He seemed
Everybody's kind of,
they come in. He's like, I think he's a little sensitive to people coming in and stepping on his toes at Babylon 5.
maybe.
And he's like, this guy come in and he's sort of like, oh, I request this and I request that, and he's like, all right, well, but he seemed a little suspicious off the bat. Not too much, but just slightly.
Well, I think everybody.
He asks Garibaldi's opinion and stuff. He doesn't say anything himself. He asks them first.
Yeah, I think everybody's a little squeamish of Psychor, and particularly the Psychops, because everybody. I mean, Garibaldi even said, they all kind of make you kind of, know.
Well, and again, why? Because people are naturally suspicious of someone that could dig into their minds,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the cops that patrol them, they have just a little bit too much power, ability, whatever,
and arrogance. They're not shy about showing you either.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Talia does everything she can to make people feel as comfortable as possible with her, right? Like she purposely doesn't scan anybody. She wears her gloves. They all know who she is, and people are still uncomfortable, to some extent with her, I assume. But even be worse with the Psychop, right?
Interestingly enough, this made me think. Do we think that Talia is going to head down the path of being a double agent?
maybe.
She's got the potential. For it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'd be a great double agent, and she's already. I mean, that would.
Well,
be part of the reason.
she kind of already is. I mean, she deceived Bester. I mean, she took the side of the criminals. The criminals in quotes.
Yeah. But she doesn't, like, before this, she's not wanting to be involved in anything.
I think
right?
she's going to be
Like, I don't,
closer with
and
Sheridan.
she's kind of not
than-
wanting to be involved in this even, right? Initially, but she kind of has to make a stand. But I'm saying that I'm wondering if the reason they set it up that she is the one who, like, they could have kept her out of this whole thing, right? She could have just snuck in, and then they could have done their mental thing on Bester. She might not be involved at all, and he shoots them all himself, let's say, right? And then she's not involved, but she purposely got involved with it and is
Well, I
known
don't
to
think
be.
they wouldn't have been able to pull off what they did without her.
But she could have been standing by the side, holding hands with somebody quietly out of sight, something like that, right?
He would have
Or
picked up
erased
her.
it from his mind that she was even there. Right?
He would have sensed it, and they would have.
Maybe.
Well, they did. I mean, they did.
My point is the reason to have her be as part of the betrayal would be to set her up as a double agent later, so that they can find things out for Bester.
She's going to be Psychor or Psychop. Yeah, she's going to be an undercover Psychop agent, but she's going to actually be. And I think that is a building for a future.
I mean, if you wanted to do that, that's what you would do, right? That's why you would keep her as a betrayer of them in order to build her up for the other guys, right?
Yeah, because we're already seeing multiple factions on Earth, let alone with the additional human colonies. So, I think there's going to be a battle, and the question is who, because you have the now deceased president, and his people, and you have the current president, who I think is allied a lot closer with Psychor and the Psychops than and maybe even under their control for all we know. But and I think there is going to be a fight for power for the Earth Alliance. Maybe against a couple of factions and some what would you call them? Revolutionaries, or
I think Psychor is obviously involved in the revolution, the assassination of the last president.
Oh yeah,
somehow, for sure. Whether they're behind it or just part of a group, or I mean, you'd think that if you wanted to overthrow the Earth government, you'd need to keep the telepaths on your side, especially when we know that a bunch of them are rogue and are like Bester, are quite happy to break the rules and just scan whoever they want, and don't seem to be worried about it getting caught. So
yeah, Weatherman's right too. What he's got up there about an organization that polices itself is, oh, did we lose Snob? Snob's internet died. Hey, we're running the show. So
should we go to wrap up?
We'll just end the show. I got jokes.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here.
I'm sure he'll be back in a minute.
I actually still need to catch up on the Londo's wives episode. I still don't know what happened.
I mean, we could tell you.
No. I mean, as far as like watching the wrong episode, I guess I think Cam was the one that suggested last week that maybe they were somehow on. I can't
production
remember
order.
Where maybe they were showing on Roku in production order instead of release order, but I'm gonna have to actually sit and watch, keep an eye on IMDb and make sure I'm watching the right one in the right week. So.
Yeah, check the.
Well, we'll try to make sure we put up a reminder at the end of every episode, just to give a hint about that. Well, Jason, do you want to go final thoughts on the episode then while we're waiting for Snob?
Yeah, I'll say 7.5, 8 out of 10. I like the main story with the Underground Railroad and Bester coming back. It's always good to see Koenig coming back as Bester.
Yeah,
he really does lean into a certain amount of relish, just chewing the scenery. Something with him being able to do this character, and it is such a great 180 from Chekhov. So it's fun. It's always fun to see him, and I think Talia's. We're seeing the beginning of an arc of some sort for Talia in terms of how she sees Psychor. We see that at the end of the episode when she's talking to Ivanova and she takes the badge off. It's like in certain stories where the conversations are supposed to be off the record, where we lose the rank, we lose the uniform, and I think that there's a symbolic as a symbolic gesture, her Talia taking off that pin says a lot, both for her regard for Ivanova and how she feels about Psychor at the moment. And it could be a temporary thing, could be a momentary thing, but
Mhm.
at that point she's like, okay, I need Ivanova's perspective more than I need to protect my identity as a telepath. And so she puts aside her Psychor allegiance in favor of a potential friendship, but also a potential alliance that could be building to something after all of this. It's a good way to wrap it up in at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, sorry, I just got dumped out for some reason.
Oh, that's okay. Well, the show is over now. We've already done no. Jason
had,
just gave.
We,
Just
we
gave
went to
a-
you first, Snob, and you missed your
I'm
point.
sure you had a
You
better
missed your
discussion
turn.
without me.
Sorry.
I just made
It was a just us moment. Thanks, Dave.
a brilliantly cogent point. So that was my one for the show.
And I missed it. Oh well.
Mm. He gave. Would you give it a? You gave it an 8,
7.5, 8.
7.5 to 8.
Yeah, it waffles. The whole rent thing just kind of kills it.
Stop playing the music. We're not done yet.
I can't stop
Yeah.
it. And every time I open OBS, it wants to play that damn thing.
Yeah,
All right,
we'll talk
Jeff.
about that after.
I'm getting
Jeff,
myself set up. All right.
Jeff,
my
why don't
wrap
you-
up. All right, so I think this was an excellent episode. I think I'm going to give it I think it's better than a 9, to be honest. I'm thinking 9.25 maybe. Really, it's better than a 9. I think this was one of the best episodes I've seen. So of course I have only what I've seen so far to compare it against, because I'm in uncharted territories. I like and did not expect at first the illusion that they put on. I picked up on it shortly after when I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Her turning was a little quick, but I bought it for the first at least few seconds, and then I'm like, oh, that's right. She joined hands with him. I'll bet you they're trying to trick him. So I kind of figured up with that. Yeah. Overall, Walter Koenig, God bless him. Like I said before, definitely diametric opposite of his character. If I didn't love him already as being Chekhov, I would hate him. So he did a great job in this. Other things, Sheridan, the Delenn thing with Sheridan, it's going to be interesting to watch that. And the Doctor, I can see both sides. Did he yeah, was he doing what he thought was right? Was he doing what he thought was moral? I get it. Bester, we know, is clearly lawful evil. He's just an evil person. That character is an evil character. I don't know how I would put the Doctor, though.
Chaotic good. They're
Chaotic
diametrically opposed.
Yeah. Well, lawful good and chaotic, lawful evil and chaotic good aren't diametrically opposite, though.
Sure they are. They're opposite on both scales.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah.
Diagonally opposite.
Yeah, they are. They are. But at any rate, yeah, 9.25. I think I'll settle on 9.25. It was really, really good. So, and don't forget, I got jokes.
You got to
want me
do that on your own time, there, buddy.
Yeah.
Well,
Put them in the chat.
no, what are you talking about? Put him in the chat.
Do you want me to go next, Cam? Are you usurping my authority?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll go if you want.
Disagreeing with me on Franklin and everything.
No.
Yeah, no, I'll go for it. I'll go next.
Oh, okay.
Change things up a little. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode too. The best episode since this season, maybe. Pretty good. I like I said, I thought it was a good examination of the moral stuff, and I think that the main part for that is Garibaldi's speech, sort of near the beginning of the episode, where he's talking about we took these people's rights away, and look what happened. I think that was a great point. Yeah, overall, I liked it. I mean, I kind of agree with most of the points about especially about the rent was maybe not really necessary in this episode. But the Delin stuff was good, and I think we need it for whatever's going to happen later on. We need to have the slow burn of Delin, becoming more human every, little bit every episodes, every couple episodes, that sort of thing. I think that's fine. Yeah, a good episode, and I'm sure that this Psycor stuff is being set up, for the future. And I think that even, Bester, especially with the whole, looking back at the last scene there, looking at her and kind of questioning. So that's a great little bit to give us a little, he's not completely fooled. There's something, he's still, suspecting something, either because he has actually suspected something or he's paranoid. One or the other. But yeah, so great setup for future stuff. Cam.
Okay, I'm gonna say this is about an 8. I want to leave myself a little room, for the highlights of the season, but I think it's this is an episode where we start to see Straczynski's strengths coming through. Like we said, there's a lot of, even though you don't have to do it, there's a lot of philosophical ideas running through this that are worthy of consideration. And that's what you'll see in the end. I think everyone will see that's the same strength that makes people value this show. So it's it's like a preview of the whole thing. It's like a microcosm of the whole show here. So I think it was a pretty strong show against Straczynski. It's his show, or he wrote it. This episode, I mean. I agree with Jason that the rent story was badly placed and didn't have any particular need. The overall storyline was actually pretty straightforward and simple, but again, that's the great thing. It's like, if you just describe the plot to somebody, it's like, okay, Bester finds out about the Underground Railroad, he comes to stop it, they fool him, it's over. It's pretty easy to summarize, but there's a lot of depth within there. So I really like it for that sake. The Delin stuff, that's fine. It didn't it didn't distract from anything. Sheridan is bouncing around a little bit. I mean, you're seeing different sides of Sheridan, which is good. That he is kind of a oh shucks guy, like DS said, he is, but he's also, gets riled up about things like the bean counters and all that.
It's the little things that bug a guy. I get it.
Yeah. So I kind of, I understand that sort of character who is very, passionate about things that other people might dismiss as being, who cares, so I like that about the character. How dare you laugh at me?
That is so apropos.
Anyway, so
he loves everything, everybody. He's got so much love, he can't give it all.
So pretty strong episode. I enjoyed it. Snob.
Yeah, what's
I
your
already
rundown?
gave mine.
Oh, you already went. Okay.
Oh, wait. I got jokes. Okay.
It's the wrong show.
Yeah, but they fit.
Why don't you try one? How about we go one at a time? If the first one impresses, we go to the next one.
He's going to give you 2, and you've heard them already.
Okay.
Right? How many Mibari does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know how many.
None. they always surrender right before they finish the job, and they won't tell anyone why. All right, Cam, knock
Yeah.
knock.
Who's there?
Kosh,
Kashu.
Gesundheit.
Ha ha. Dad jokes.
I
All right.
know, but hey, Sheridan said
Anybody, if you watch the show, those are the two
those are
jokes.
in it. and you know what the comment was? Susan Ivanova said to him, your wife, that woman was a saint.
Yeah.
So
All right, let's do trivia.
All right.
All right, quick trivia questions. How much rent do Ivanova and Sheridan have to pay? Who is the contact for the Underground Railroad on B5? What was the psi rating of the female telepath impregnated by the Psi Corps? What is not permitted inside Earhart's? That's the bar where the officers hang out. And of course, how many men bar does it take to screw in a light bulb? You already know the answer to that question.
no, I don't never heard that question before.
So those are the trivia questions for next week, and we'll give you the answers if you don't know them next week.
Reminder, especially for Jason, next week's episode, Coming of Shadows, episode 9.
Yeah, and we'll see if I can find a way. I where there's a will, there's a way. I'm gonna be on a mountain in Alabama with a bunch of YouTubers. So I know at least 5 or 6 of them have Starlink, so maybe I can beg a ride on
at least come in the chat.
Yeah, at the very least, I'll see if I can connect. If
So,
not,
and
I'll miss
just
everybody.
I always put the title up on the thing, so if you had to check, the show, I'll have the title to make sure you get the right.
Nobody
episode.
trusts you.
And if you're in Huntsville, come up to the mountain.
All right, what's coming
up?
Promos, Jason.
Yes.
What do you got coming up?
I have tomorrow. We are going to be talking about the Disney earnings call, and tomorrow being the 7th, it is officially the day that David Ellison gets the keys to Paramount Global.
Oh, it's official now.
Tomorrow is the day that Paramount Skydance is a thing. And I have been told some things about the fate of Alex Kurtzman.
Are you're grinning? Uh-oh. Stay tuned, people.
Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern when we start.
Deportation.
Hopefully he'll be drawn and quartered.
Yeah. Anything about any news about the whole WWE and NFL thing? You talk about that?
I have an opinion about that. Yeah, we'll get into that briefly. But yeah.
It's not directly sci-fi.
Tomorrow, corporate shenanigans. We're talking Paramount and Disney.
How did they?
All right.
Anyway,
Space them.
Can we space Bob Iger? God, please.
Jeff.
Oh, I'm going to be on a mountain, like I said, and
next week's show.
Yeah. So, like I said, if I can get in, I'll try. I'm not kidding. There's going to be at least a dozen or more YouTubers that are out there. So they really are. Some of them do have Starlink, and we're bringing them. They're trying to figure out how to hook them all together. That's the last thing I heard. And anyway,
you guys are always hooking things together.
Playing radio, all that. I'll be out there Wednesday through. I'm leaving Monday and coming back home. So I'm going to be out there for the whole weekend at the Huntsville Ham Fest. If you're into ham radio and you're in the Huntsville area, come on by. It's going to be downtown at the Von Braun Center. And then come up to the Monte Sano State Park and just tell me your ham. And they've prepaid for like 85 people that are 85 people to come in that aren't actually staying in the park at any given time. So, we're a bunch generous lot. Good kudos to the guys who paid for that. We're going to have a bunch of cookouts and raising money for the ARRL's youth outreach group and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool.
Cam.
Nerd stuff.
Nothing. I'm just spreading love and joy throughout the my public reach.
The whole universe. I told you.
Yeah.
He's got so much love. He doesn't know what to do. He's gonna explode just like Ironheart.
I spread it thick.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week on this show, it's the titular episode of the season. The Coming of Shadows is the name of the episode. Something about the Centauri Emperor coming to Babylon 5, and I don't think Jacquard is happy about that. So something's up there. Yeah, we'll find out. And on our top line.
Oh no. Did we lose him again?
Robo.
He roboed out.
No.
Top
And,
lofty, yeah. It's a surprise to everyone. Go.
No,
What
yeah,
is
does it? We have to stick
Cam,
around.
what is your topic for Top Lofty Lounge that's coming up Sunday?
Yeah.
No idea. I don't even know.
You're the co-host.
Well, while we're waiting for Snob, you guys are familiar with Mothra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mothra appeared on my front door today. A gigantic moth basking in the light of the moon.
Yeah.
It was very scary.
So I went before Jeanette went to work tonight. Got up on the front porch and I was coming up to do my watch for the show. Because I try and watch it fresh shortly before. That's not going to happen for next week. I'm going to watch it now. But and I'm checking my little pitcher plant that I have had hanging outside on the front porch, and I stick my finger in, and something flies out at me. Scared the ever living daylights out of me. And I think it was a hummingbird.
I've got you beat. So Mindy wakes up this morning with a toothache. On top of everything else that we're dealing with now, right? She's having this pain here. I don't know what to. And call in, get a pretty much basically an emergency check-in with the dentist, because if she's got an infection, she can't have her surgery on Thursday.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so we get her in because we're not sure now if it's nerve pain that's now going up, or if it's going, down or whatever. I mean, there's all sorts of possibilities. So, okay, we go in to get the dentist. So I get her out into the driveway, going to get into the car. This is the car that I've just had repaired. It's been sitting in the driveway for like 6 months. And open the door, put the thing in, and she's got this little handle that she can put in to help her get in and out of vehicles, because she can't move. And she goes to put in, and she sees something in the door, in the door jamb of my car. And here come the wasps. It's the wasp nest that they've built inside the passenger door,
where the door opens and
the door opens, and
yeah.
So she gets out. I mean, they just kind of fly around a little. They're just crawling a little bit around, 4 or 5 of them. So I go get the can of Raid and I spray the whole thing down. I was like, oh, because they'd built one before inside the gas tank lid. So I'll open up.
Oh, that's a bad place to
I know. That's not a good place for him either.
The passenger side, okay, it doesn't get used as much as the driver's side. The gas place, you use that one too much.
Yeah, but yeah, that was our adventure today. On top of everything else.
So is she going to be able to get this her screws, her bolts put back in, or
they gave her her surgery is the 14th. So they gave her a round of antibiotics in order to basically be a preventive, like just in case she doesn't have one, we're going to make sure she doesn't get one. And then she's got another dentist appointment on Tuesday because there may be a crack in a tooth. Is what they're looking at now. So that's Tuesday when maybe we find out that. So it's like, oh man, it's just one thing after another. But anyway, yeah, that's what we have to look forward to next week. And in the meantime, she's just barely getting around. She's good in the mornings, but as the day goes on, it's harder and harder for her to walk.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's not.
I mean, she seems in good spirits when we've seen her.
Well,
heard from him.
it's you got to make the best of it, right?
Yeah.
There are days, there are moments where you sit there and you just right on the edge, and you have to go, okay, not today, Satan. We're just gonna keep plugging along and fight it. And there've been some rough moments. There've been some high emotions because of all of this. Because I mean, she's in a great deal of pain. We're doing a lot of Tylenol, a lot of migraine tension type
Have you
medication. Well,
alternated between
yeah,
acetaminophen and
we
ibuprofen?
have the well, she can't take ibuprofen
Oh,
because it's an
really?
NSAID. Well, yeah, because it's an
Blood
NSAID.
thinner.
You can't do.
Yeah.
So we've got the main set of medications are the prescription stuff,
Hmm.
and then we're alternating with the Tylenol cocktail and then the prescription stuff and the Tylenol cocktail and prescription stuff. And I tell you, I do not know the last time I had more than 3 hours of sleep
Mm.
at any given moment.
I
Be-
thought you hurt yourself at this
No,
low down and load out.
actually, my thing last night was pretty easy because this all the different stage, and we had about 100 stagehands on the call, and loaders and forklift drivers and riggers and whatnot. And there's a group that gets assigned to each department. So
Right.
you have your stagehand, your carpentry stagehands that are actually out there taking the stage apart. You have your lighting
Right.
people, your electric, your audio, your that.
What
Uh,
team do you get to work with
I
typically?
was on the automation team this time, which really basically was pulling apart pieces of truss and running the power cables that ran the whole thing,
Hmm.
getting those into cases and rolling stuff out. Didn't really have a whole lot to do. These guys were
Don't tell them
really
that.
no. It was really
Oh,
impressive because
the crew that they have that travels
these
with them.
roadies were
Yeah.
so organized.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is going to take us forever to get this thing out of here.
And
I
they
was
were like bam,
expecting
bam, bam,
by
bam, bam.
yeah, we were done in 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know I don't know if you want to name the band that it was, but
It
I
was
know.
Ghost.
Yeah, I've
Never
seen
heard of it.
them. I've seen them open for. I think they opened for Iron Maiden
Yeah,
when I
they've
saw
opened
them
for
once,
Iron Maiden. I think they've opened for Kiss.
and I've also seen them as the headliner.
Yeah.
And like one of their things is like they change set and costumes like multiple times during a show, so it makes sense that they're you know just
Well, and
constantly.
most of it, see, a lot of times when you get these guys that roll in, you have there's a lot of truss, a lot of metal truss that goes up because
Yeah.
they got to hang lights and they got to hang speakers and all of that.
Yeah.
Lasers and smoke and
Sure.
pyro and whatever. And a lot of times the lights are separate, and they got to be put on. It's much easier when the truss comes in and all of the lights are hanging, and a lot of times this is the way it is. But these guys had everything
And they're all
on.
pre-wired, and all they got to do is plug in a
It's
main.
all set up, and basically, I guess just we got to put all the truss together, put the cord, put the power to it, and hook it up to the motors and up in the air.
Yeah, because a lot of
And
those lights use basically XLR connectors. It's amazing that
yeah,
they.
it's all. Yeah, I mean
It's not audio signal, but it's using they're using
yeah,
the
and
XLR
the
cable.
video wall went together really quick. It was really impressive. These guys were just on the numbers all the way through,
That's awesome.
and coming out, taking it apart. It was just okay. Here's all the wheels. Here's this wheels. Here's these legs, and here's this. The whole thing comes down in one big giant unit, and it comes to a certain point, and you shove all the legs in with the wheels and whatnot, and then it comes down on the ground. You break it apart and roll it onto the trucks. I have not seen a loadout go this smoothly, and I don't know when.
I would love to see an Iron Maiden load in and load out. I think that would be awesome.
man.
But we have Snob back. Should we
Do
let
we?
him go while he?
Do we?
Yeah,
I
we
had
do.
to I had to reboot like 3 or 4 times. I don't know what the heck's going on right now. Anyway, some sort of glitch out of nowhere. I haven't had any troubles before. Yeah, I guess better end the show before it glitches again, right?
Yeah, because I don't think any of us can.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
All right, thanks
Bye.
for coming, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll get out before we. It's impossible to get out with the outro, and then yeah, see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.